when I was running for office, it's easy to play the political game and do the political calculus of how can I win, and that can lead you down a road of transactional politics, where you say anything to anyone just to get a win. But my win had to be grounded in a pathway of freedom. And that freedom meant many things: freedom of making a change, making a difference, freedom in wealth building, freedom in reproductive justice, freedom in equal rights, freedom in environmental justice, healthy lives, and freedom from police brutality, and freedom from just brutality, domestic violence, freedom to just be yourself and be loved and to love others. And when I was on that journey, I knew that was the mission, that's what I was going after. And I also knew the words of Toni Morrison, the late great, and her words: the function of freedom is to be free, or the function of freedom is to free someone else. And when I was doing that, I knew this couldn't be possible with just me alone. I needed a team. I needed so many people who also had that vision, had that dream of freedom for whatever that was for them. And I brought so many different people with me who never even imagined themselves being in politics or being in electoral justice or even doing anything outside of just like their everyday life. And even, for me, winning the race was very necessary. And even coming less than 300 votes away from winning, I knew what was even the greater win was that I got 70% of my voters were first-time voters who haven't even voted in like the past 2 years. So that was freedom for me. That was transformation for me. That was making the change that was so necessary for my community and for so many generations to come. And I have a few announcements, and I made sure, like my sister said, to don't complain, activate. So, November 7th, actually, I found out the news of the results from the election, and it was really down. It took a lot of sweat equity, to run a race the way I did. And I decided, I'm not going to let this just be dormant. I'm not going to let this be the end. I'm going to give, life to something that can live on forever. So I decided to launch an online course called Run Like Harriet, Freedom on the Rise. So where women all over can, opt into this online course and who are justice leaders and figure out, what is the blueprint for running a campaign that is rooted in radical self-care, healing, and community building. So that is my call to action, is for us to win back our freedom in so many different ways. And lastly, I think what's really important is for us to claim it, claim the victory, and claim our freedom. And I know for my personal experience, telling my story is something that's very sacred, right? Because once you claim who you are, you have to stick with that. Once you claim who you are, you have to grow with that. And in a time where we have experienced so many different oppressive tactics or just oppression overall, it's kind of hard to look in the mirror and see and tell yourself who you are, which is a counter narrative of what you might have been told. So I leave you with the last quote from Sojourner Truth: freeing yourself was one thing, claiming ownership of that was another. And I decided when I ran, and also decided when I was the vice president for the NAACP, to claim myself as a leader and to not hide behind the mask of, the humbleness of, oh, I don't want to be known, I don't want to be recognized. Leadership was something I was afraid of, but I had to claim it because I need other women to claim it. I need more people to claim it. I need other people who look like me to claim their greatness and their victory. And with me claiming me as a leader, as a change maker, there is someone very special and well-known who also noticed that. And that very special person is the presidential candidate, Elizabeth Warren, who had her team reach out to me and ask me to be the organizing director for her campaign here in the Twin Cities. And I accepted the offer. So 2020, the Minnesota Women Press is going to be helping us, get to that journey of November 5th and even after. Thank you so much for putting that self-care in there because we're going to need that. I'm personally going to need that. So let's get ready for Election Day, November 3rd, 2020. We have so many phenomenal women who are running, and we need to step up and help them, get our boots on, get our marathon on, and get out there and make sure we are rising more stars to the finish line. Take care.